Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Peace Dealer, here to present to you a most important report and recording. One that very importantly goes over the current election and the significance of a potential individual becoming the 46th president of the United States of America. This video is in the odd chance that he gets inaugurated. Now, editing videos and the creative process comes with mistakes. It comes with its fair share of technological glitches and just things that happen weirdly. Well, normally I wouldn't mention it, but I have to mention it. First of all, this is like the third time I'm making this video. It's not Mercury retrograde. It's not Neptune retrograde. Not like it has to be retrograde for there to be some type of shenaniganery. But I made this video already. In the process of making the PowerPoint, I got locked out of the PowerPoint. I wanted to access the PowerPoint, and it told me that I locked the file and I can't edit it, which is a lie. Got through that, put 4 different clips, and for most of the whole day, I've been using different computers. I just got this Chromebook that I'm recording this on yesterday, so there's nothing wrong with the Chromebook. I used the desktop, I used other websites, and every time I take the videos that may have been corrupted or not using this screen share software, there's just this weird glitch that makes the videos go weird. But for any of y'all who've watched me for as long as you've watched me, you know that's interference. So I didn't have to mention that, but I just want to let you know there's some forces that don't even want me to upload this. So when you see this, just know I did this for y'all. I did this for y'all. But intro aside, the next few months are about to be perhaps the craziest you've ever experienced. And after that, it's only going to get crazier in a good and bad way. But there really is no good or bad. So what I'm making this presentation for is to make sure that we're all clear on what time it is. We are at war. We've been at war for a while. So you really want to be mindful of the entertainment, the media. You know, in the Vietnam War, you didn't have influencers performing songs because people were dying. People are still dying now, but you have this media promotion deliberately distracting you in this info war. So, you know, my hand's been forced. The Peace Dealer's ready to clap back, and I think it's time I compile some literal facts just to make sure we're all clear, because there's some weird and dangerous presuppositions, and I think once we kind of clear this, nip this in the bud, we can move forward with a clearer perspective. So let's get this show on the road. As you can see, we have the chart of the United States of America. This is not to be confused with the corporation of America that has its own separate chart, and I will go in on as well. This is the Democratic Republican, or Democratic Republic, that was founded in 1776 by, Masonically influenced individuals who knew what they were doing. Trust me. Whether you agree with the origins of how this country was birthed and what happened, which I myself don't, there's a lot about how this country was founded and set up that I just will never agree with. But I'm mature enough to put my feelings aside and kind of adapt to what America is now and where it's going. So, something that's very, very important to remember is that a country is a social construct. This finger is real. These beads are real. If you go to starryari.com, starryari333.com, I believe, you can copy these. This is dope. Really dope. This shirt is real, right? This Chromebook is real. This country is a concept. It doesn't make it, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And it's not a bad thing at all. It's actually really cool that a group of people can come together and agree on a state and a country that governs with rules and laws. We have to remember it's a social construct. And so when you look at the chart of the social construct, you're looking at a chart, in this case, of a country birthed by a group of people who gave birth to it when it was declared an independence. And that's something to keep in mind, because when you think objectively, the universe isn't going to look at things like, okay, this is America, this is China. It just is. So keep that in mind. The energy of this natal chart is real in a sense, but it's not real like my hand. That doesn't change the fact that the transits are accurate. Accurate. I'm going to say it's accurate instead of accurate. But outside of that, before we go into the chart, I just kind of wanted to remind you that there's a difference between the existence of a state and the reality of a place. That being said, as we look at this chart, we do see it's the Sag rising. We do see that Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto are opposite the Sun right now, which we can see evidenced with this backlash and opposition towards true American patriotism. True American patriotism, as Cancer represents the patriot, which is why, patriotism, nationalism, and defending the home turf comes very strong in this country. Once again, everything that I'm saying about this, it's not my opinion. I'm not trying to make this country sound good. I'm not trying to make this country sound bad. There is no good or bad. Okay, things simply are. Outside of that, what I really want to bring to your attention is Pluto right here. Since 1776, Pluto was 27 degrees. And now we have Saturn here. We had the Revolutionary War that founded this. We had the Civil War, right? We had the World War, Second World War. We had the Truman administration, the Bush administration, the Obama administration. And now as we're coming into Trump's second term, we see that Pluto is getting ready to conjunct again for the first time. This is something like you having a year-long subscription to Netflix, and right before the year is over, you get that email. Would you like to renew your subscription? With that in mind, we know that one elected official, should they get re-elected, will lead America into its second revolution, the second American Revolution. And should the other person get inaugurated as number 46, we will see the definitive end of this country. Is that a bad thing? No. Is that a good thing? No. But it's a thing. And so it's my job to show you for real, what time it is. A lot of people don't know what time it is. They still want things to go back to normal. They still don't realize they are in the thick of war. And so it's my job to at least make you know this, share this to people who need to get it, because all you need is to get your attitude right. Once this decision in Capricorn is made, Saturn is going to conjunct the South Node, and nothing will ever be the same. And, it is my hope that the right decision is made, because, it's not so much that this country shouldn't end or not, but context and timing is everything, and this is not the right time. I'm just gonna say that. But outside of that, we know that Pluto is getting ready to return, and so this now brings us to what this country was founded on: liberty, free speech, freedom, due process, and of course the freedom to assemble. These are, of course, our pillars, a foundation that gives this nation its grounding. If a certain individual is elected into office, that symbolically means that the ideals that founded this country, whether you believe, and I'm not saying this as someone who, I believe in these ideals, I'm just speaking objectively. The ideals that founded this country, once this person successfully, potentially, pretty much usurps that, the foundation is destroyed. What makes this country will no longer be this country. The fact that this is a free country that enables people to decide their leaders makes this different from third world nations and nations suffering bad corruption. And I come from Nigeria, where I've been legally extorted by the cops. Legally extorted by the cops, okay? So I've seen corruption firsthand. It's the reason why my parents moved from Nigeria to come here, to give me an opportunity to thrive. And considering that, I think it's very important we take serious what may potentially occur. If someone is able to enter the White House by stealing the election, the principles of free speech and liberty no longer apply, and this country is no longer this country. And so I'm going to present 3 facts to drive this home and make sure we know, exactly who may potentially be the 46th United States President of America. The first exhibit that we need to just square right off the bat is the fact that, drumroll please, Joe Biden, otherwise known as Beijing Biden, is a criminal. This isn't speculation. This isn't what I feel. This isn't what I think. This is a fact.
President of the United States knows the Vice President's not going to be home. He's going to be meeting His Holiness. Okay, overseas. I started investigating Biden 2 years ago when he was thinking about running for president. I never thought he would run. Looked to me like he couldn't cross the street, much less run. I was investigating Biden in the middle of the corruption presentation. One gentleman said to me, well, you know about the Biden bribe. I said, what are you talking about? He said, well, Biden got paid off. And he went to Poroshenko. He forced the prosecutor out. Not only did he get his son out, but he got Burisma out. So one of the things we're going to reveal, we always ask, why did this happen? Why would a crooked Ukrainian oligarch, whose company is about to be taken away from him, who's sitting in Switzerland with $5 billion he stole, all this is just fact. His name is Mykola Zlochevsky. This is all true, what I just said. He hires the son of the vice president, who just got thrown out of the Navy for failing a drug test, had been in and out of rehab most of his life, was a failure in business, and was involved in 2 or 3 other scandals involving his father before, including busted companies where they were using his name, Joe's name. Why would he hire this guy? I'll tell you why. He was buying Joe Biden to protect his company. He was that money, which is at least $8 million, and it could go up to 20, based on the investigation they're now doing. But at least $8 million in laundered money, some of it. That was to buy Joe Biden's protection if and when Poroshenko came after his company. And then, when it happened, in 1 month, I've got February 2nd of 2016, they raid Burisma offices and close it down. So much that there was no investigation going on. February 15th, they get a notification from from Latvia that Hunter Biden is involved in the money laundering. Have it in writing, translated from Russian. And then right after that is when Biden says, get rid of Shokin. And Shokin will testify to that, and I will show you a document that in September of last year, Shokin was taken to the hospital with mercury poisoning.
All right, so let me just get a word in. I know
this happens in Ukraine and Russia.
Right. So
the method of choice is poisoning.
So let's just say that everything you say proves 100% true.
It is 100% true.
Would you also say that the way you approached it, in the short term, which we're in the middle of, has made things worse for the president?
I would say the way I approach it is for the benefit of the American people. When the vice president of the United States corrupts the president of another country, that is about as horrendous a crime as you can find.
But not only the apparatus to pursue these things.
The apparatus to pursue
you
it
could
was
still lead it through.
Brian, you're totally naive.
In what way?
The apparatus to look at this refused to look at it. The witnesses will tell you they tried to get this information to us for a year. They were blocked by the embassy. They hired a lawyer to go to the Justice Department to tell them about Ukrainian collusion. And since they didn't know anything about Russian collusion, they were basically thrown out. They will tell you that at least one of the FBI agents was corrupt. And they didn't trust any longer the FBI or the Justice Department because they were convinced that they were still being controlled by Hillary Clinton partisans. Absolutely. Now, these are foreigners, but not a bad conclusion. I couldn't go to them. They wouldn't let me go to them, and if I went to them, they would have laughed at me. I had to prove it first. I had to go prove it because we have, unfortunately, at the highest levels of some of these agencies, they've been either corrupted or intimidated. You know what they're intimidated about? Biden should have been prosecuted already for bribery. It wasn't one bribe, it was two bribes. The first bribe was Poroshenko, through a lobbying company.
The former leader of Ukraine.
Poroshenko takes over the country. Sloshevsky flees with his $5 billion. Sloshevsky's afraid that Poroshenko is going to take his company, and then Joe Biden gets announced as point man for Ukraine by Obama. Point man, whatever that is. I know what it is, actually. And he says he's going to be giving out the money. They had $800,000 left in their national bank. That's how much money Yanukovych stole. Sloshevsky being one of his mafia members. Sloshevsky had $5 billion of it. They're coming after his money. They're coming after his company. All of a sudden, Biden is announced as the most important guy in Ukraine. He's going to give out the money. Then he hires Biden's son. You know what happened in between? He made a deal with Biden. You be on board to protect me against Poroshenko taking my company. When they moved to take the company, that's when Biden came in and had the prosecutor fired, and within 4 months, the crooked oligarch who's sitting with $5 billion comes back to the Ukraine. He is not prosecuted. He is sitting there fat and happy with his company. And then we got another bribe. You don't think the president of the Ukraine shared in that $5 billion that the crook kept?
Rudy?
The bribe to the president of the Ukraine, the amount of money, I can't be absolutely sure. Let's say it's well in excess of $10 million.
You know, the entire crowd has...
Now, that shouldn't be revealed?
From
a lawyer who finds out about this?
But do you...
Am I going to cover it up the way the Democrats or the media cover it up? Absolutely not. I prosecuted too many corruption cases to sit by and watch my country sold out by a vice president who did it 2 other times at least in China.
So how does this end?
This ends hopefully with Biden finally being put under investigation. You don't think if these things were said about Donald Trump and Donald Trump Jr., they wouldn't be under investigation immediately? But instead of putting them under investigation, they're coming after me.
Rudy,
they want to kill me.
When are you going to present
the reputation?
Pardon the interruption.
Shokin, they're trying to really kill.
Rudy, when are you going to present the evidence? Because you tell a compelling story.
Well, today at noon, I will give an introduction. Starting next week, I will present witnesses.
That is just fascinating. I want y'all to peep certain things that were exchanged here. Okay. First of all, the whole concept of asking for proof on the media, that's ludicrous. You present proof in court. It takes time to prepare proof. You don't just ask, like if he was a judge, that's when you ask, do you have evidence? It's crazy. And then also, Did you hear when he said he has spent years prosecuting criminals, and then the guy just said, "Sure," as if that's just not even a big point. This is something to keep in mind. But other than that, we have heard Rudy Giuliani, former governor of New York and attorney for the president, declare that Joe Biden committed bribery. That's a crime. So why should we trust Rudy Giuliani, honestly? Why should we trust his word? What authority over truth does he even have that, we can even believe him? Because authority is important, okay? If an astrophysicist has been studying that subject for 20 years versus somebody who just looked it up that day on Google, who are you going to go to for advice? The one who studied that day on Google. I'm just joking. The one who studied for 20 years. He unequivocally has more authority, period. Just like Rudy Giuliani most likely has more authority over the understandings of the legal process as a prosecutor than certain media pundits. But outside of that, how can we see that he actually has the authority? How can we trust his word? I'll show you. As you can see, this is his natal chart. And we know that Saturn in the chart represents authority. What kind of authority does former governor of New York, Rudy Giuliani, have? 29 degrees Saturn. So we're not even talking about just first or second decan. We're talking about master authority over what? In a sign of Gemini. Truth? That means he has integrity over his word? Because, he's not the only one with Saturn and Gemini. If anything, I'm pretty sure Joe Biden has Uranus and Saturn and Gemini. So why is it that we can believe him, right? And not necessarily who he's accusing? Well, we know that Rudy Giuliani has his spirit, his sun in Gemini. He is the spirit of truth. And he has Uranus on his sun and Saturn on his sun. That makes him a power alien. We're going to talk about why that's relevant. And most importantly, he's a Virgo rising. Virgo is facts. This is a very critical and analytical individual. And not only does that make him a walking, talking receipt, this is unequivocal proof that this man's word is law. He's built a career off of integrity. This is why he's an official. The fact that we still argue whether he needs to give us proof or not. I understand there's due process, but it's just crazy. It's just crazy. So there you go. This is undeniable proof why we can trust his word as law. Or we don't even have to say that. We can trust that everything he said is the truth. Because he either lied or told the truth. The declarative statements he made, he either lied. It's not like he was reaching. It's not like he made a mistake. No. He either lied on national television, or I don't know, he's being a Gemini and telling the truth. He's sharing our experience of truth with us. Oh, but it gets better. We know he's a power alien. What's a power alien? When an outer planet is within 15 degrees of either direction of the sun, you have a power alien construct. Saturn is 20 degrees from the sun, but it counts. And as a Saturnian power alien, he can not only turn times backwards and forward and create successful empires, which we've seen with his administration, but also recognize false leaders and ego-driven schemes. And as a Uranian power alien, he can not only channel higher frequency beings and form higher conscious communities, but he can also shock others into reality and deprogram brainwashed individuals who believe anything that they see on CNN. And so this is why this is important. Uranus is in its very nature is shocking, and everything that he said is shocking. Come on, y'all. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear nobody. I don't want to hear nobody talking about anything else. I just told you right now that you not only can trust what he said, it's the truth. It's the truth. He's doing the work for us. And so right off the bat, we have definitively proved that Joe Biden has committed bribery. I know some of you want tangible evidence. I know some of y'all want confessions. Learn to read between the lines. It'll save your life. We also have this article with Hillary Clinton that I pulled from Fox. Type it up if you want to look it up. This is mainly about newly declassified handwritten notes authored by former CIA Director John Brennan, showing that on July 28, 2016, he briefed President Barack Obama on intelligence evidence that Clinton had approved the plan to vilify Trump with false accusations that he was colluding with Russia. She did it, the intel concluded, to distract from her own damaging email scandal. So if he briefed the president, that means the vice president also knew, because the vice president was also there. And so, thinking about the millions of taxpayer dollars, your money, that went towards investigating a whole hoax that never happened. That's hilarious. That's to be a movie. I think we can safely say that basically that's treason. They staged a coup to impeach a president doing his job so that they can overthrow the government. So we have bribery and treason. Let's see. What is bribery? Bribery is defined as offering, giving, receiving, or soliciting any item or of value to influence the actions of an official or other person in charge of a public or legal duty. So it's a crime. Okay. And if you commit a crime, I think that makes you a criminal. Okay. Look at that corruption, right? And then we see treason. Treason is the crime. Treason is the crime. Say it with me now. Treason is the crime of attacking a state authority to which one owes allegiance. And so this is actually fascinating because this is just two examples of what has come out. We know there's a whole laptop that got released, and who knows if he's doing more than just sniffing little girls. Who knows? But we know for a fact the dude's a criminal. And at this point of the video, if you still deny that, you're in denial. And you have issues accepting reality. Let's go on to the next exhibit, shall we? Joe Biden's son is in Scorpio. And as you can see, whereas Rudy had the MC at 29 degrees, Biden has his Lilith in 29 degrees. Outside of that, why is it important that Biden represents the zodiac sign of Scorpio and has the same rising as America, which is very, 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 very key? Well, we know that Scorpio represents death. No wonder this man wants to transform the country. And so when I say that him being inaugurated will represent the end of this country, I mean that in a sense where he really will bring the end of this country. Now listen, this is not the first time there's been voter rigging and corruption in this country. It has always existed. But it's significant that he's the one that's doing it because he's bringing the energy of death. Makes you wonder how the last person the DNC tried to Trojan horse into the White House, who also cheated against Bernie Sanders and also President Trump, but not enough to win, was also a Scorpio. Looks like some people really want to end this country. Well, this is very, very interesting, especially when you take into account that his zodiac sign is in the 12th house of the United States chart of America. The 12th house is a house of endings. Dog, you really can't make this up. This is literally in your face. This is amazing. And so, the last fun fact that I would like to make. The Dawn, President Trump, is the 45th president. I know you might be like, duh. And if anything, we just gonna we gonna call it Don 45. That's what we gonna call him, 45. Okay. Other than that, we know that 45 numerology is 4 plus 5, which equals 9. Now, if you're one of those people who believe 2 plus 2 equals 5, get the fuck out of this video right now. You just get out. I don't want to hear no imaginary number. Blah, blah, blah. If 2 plus 2 equals 5, you get out. Outside of that, we know that 4 plus 5 equals 9. Well, what does 9 mean? 9 is the number of magic. It is also the number of completion and fulfillment. And one thing that I can love about 9, my life path, is you add any number to it, it returns it to itself. And after 9, you go back to 1. With 0 is the ghost number. However, if a certain criminal gets elected, he would become the 46th president. What does 46 equal? Well, 4 plus 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh my God. What does 10 mean? Well, number 10 symbolizes the completion of a cycle. And it's kind of interesting because if you look at any tarot deck or playing card deck, you don't see a number past 10. It ends at 10. And so, in conclusion, we know Beijing Biden is a total criminal, potential pedophile, and his son is a weirdo. We also know that he represents Scorpio. His son is in the 12th house of endings, and his numerology is 10 of the presidential number, which means, if he gets elected, this country is finite, it's done, it's complete. If Trump gets elected, re-elected, when he does, he's numerology 9, 45, goes back to 1, Second American Revolution, baby. Woo! Now, let me just be honest. You saw how Beijing Biden has 12th house Scorpio sun. 12th house Scorpio suns are super magic. Shout out to Aquarius Roberts. He's a 12th house Scorpio sun. They're super psychic. Does that make sense now? Why he resurrected dead people to vote for him? Why magical glitches deleted votes from Trump and switched to Biden? Why multiple people voted for him? I thought you can only vote once. Some people voted 5 times for him. President Trump is my guy, but dead people never voted for him. He never got 3 or 4 votes. Biden must be that dude. I could be wrong about Biden. God might have favored him because he has all sorts of miracles working in his favor. But as far as I'm concerned, the dude is a criminal. And if we let these people stage a coup on this country and Trojan horse this, the ideals that grant you the freedom should you be a citizen in this country will no longer exist. I know a lot of people are fed up with this country, and I'm not telling you to accept it as a perfect baby. If anything, it has an aqua moon, it's transforming. But something to keep in mind. And I really hope you gained from this presentation because it's going down. And coming in the next year is very imperative that you know what time it is before Saturn, the Lord of Karma and Time, leaves Capricorn. That way, you'll be equipped to play your role and do your part, which you can only do if you stay true and you know what time it is. Y'all stay blessed as always, and until